What are we talking about today, babe?
Well, today, as we closed out last week's video, we were talking about having a backup plan. And so
Mm.
I want to talk about having a backup plan today.
You've ever been in a position where you had a backup plan?
Yes.
You have?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You were my backup plan. hmm I
Well,
was in it.
praise God for that.
Right.
Hi, friends.
Hey,
Welcome back.
welcome.
We are the Chavises,
Yes, we
and
are.
this is I Am Encouraged TV.
Real talk for real people.
And we are so excited today to talk about backup plans.
Yeah, backup plans.
Do you have a backup plan?
Mm,
I'm not talking about like if you got a business plan and you need a backup plan. I'm
right.
talking about if you're in a relationship and you got a backup plan or somebody on the side or somebody, texting, just in case.
Right.
A fallback.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about why it is not good to have a backup plan when you're dating or in a marriage.
All right. So, first off, when you're married, right? When you're married and you have a backup plan, that's not good because again, it causes you, as we said on last week, you know, it divides your attention from your husband or from your wife or whatever, and maybe you and your backup plan don't even talk that much, whatever the case may be. But here's the problem, right? If you're always looking for the exit, you'll find it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a backup plan, you'll probably ending up having to back up. You were married, now you got to be single. You got to,
mm-hmm.
And here's the thing that I want to say about having a backup plan is that if you're always looking, right, or expecting things, what you look for, you're gonna find, because you're gonna make up something in your mind. If that's just the truth of it. If I'm looking for something, if I'm looking for something for say me and my wife, I'm looking for her to be doing something. I'm just gonna start looking and looking and looking, and I'm gonna find something that's suspicious, right? And then I'm gonna just be like, "So what is this? See, I knew you wasn't no good." I wouldn't roll my neck. I'm just, I knew you wasn't no good. This, that, and the other, and I'm leaving, and I go be with my backup plan, right? And there's so many different issues and problems with the backup plan. I mean, Tyler Perry did a whole thing about it when he did the 80-20, situation. There's so much when you have that backup plan that is wrong with that and that goes wrong with that. But
so if a person has a backup plan, is that an indication that they have settled and they're not fully happy or fulfilled with that person?
Well, here's the thing. It's an indication that they've settled. It's an indication that maybe they're not fully committed. It's an indication that they weren't sure in the first place that they should have been with this person. And that's again what I'm talking about. Looking for the exits, right? You're always expecting something to go wrong, so therefore it's
you might be causing something to go wrong in the relationship because you're not sure.
Right. And when you're unresolved in your mind, then you become unresolved in your nature. And a person can tell when you're not fully sure if you want to be with them or not. A person can absolutely tell if, you just reserving something because you're expecting something to go wrong. And they'd be like, wait, why is there always, like, have you ever, maybe you haven't, but have you ever been with somebody that there's never any real drama or anything wrong, but they're always looking for the drama, bringing up drama? It's because they're always expecting something to go wrong, and when they expect it to go wrong, they start looking for things, and then they want to, well, why you don't do such and such? Like, I didn't know you wanted that. Like, what are you talking about? Well, every time I come around, you put your phone down. What's that about? I'm trying to give you my undivided attention. Like, but they're always looking for something to go wrong. So they find issues, and then you decide, I don't want to deal with this, and you leave, and they're like, see, I knew it. I knew you drove me to this point.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing. Again, that's the problem with always looking for the exits, having a backup. And if you have a backup, if you're always looking for exits, you're going to always look for problems, and always it's a continuous cycle. And you could be with the right man for you or the right woman for you, but because you're looking for the exits, because you've got a backup, now you have just ruined that whole thing. My thoughts.
My thoughts are, if they really are the right person for you, like if you're with the right person is who you make that connection with, where you won't be looking for those exits or those backups or things of that nature. Because you could be with a good person, but they may not necessarily be good for you.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where we get confused in a lot of situations and relationships, is that, oh, this is a great person.
Mm-hmm.
This person has great qualities, but they may not necessarily have the greatest qualities for you. Or maybe they have a lot of trash qualities, but you look real deep for those good qualities in them.
Yeah.
You keep trying to work with it, but at the same time, you're unsure and you have a backup plan.
Right.
Well, if they don't do this and this and this by this point, then I'm going to go ahead and holler at Joe. Or if they don't do this and this and this at this point, then I'm going to go ahead and holler at Carrie, or whomever. And that's not healthy for the relationship. That's not healthy for you. And it's a waste of time. Stop wasting people's time. And don't let people waste your time. Your time is valuable. Life is short. Tomorrow is not promised. It may seem like it is because you woke up another day, but it is not promised.
Right.
And we can't continue to allow ourselves to be stuck with Jim or stuck with Sally because I'm 35 and I'm not married yet, or I thought I was going to be married by 28, so this is the only person that's been around, so I'm going to go ahead and marry that person. That is not the will of God for your life.
Right.
God has someone specifically designed for you. If he didn't, then it wouldn't be in his word.
Mm-hmm.
And since it is in his word, we know that we can stand on it and that it is true.
Absolutely.
Okay? So, yeah.
So, I know somebody may be asking the question and saying, well, y'all are talking about having a backup plan, this, that, and the other, but I bet you the Bible don't say nothing about this. Aha, you're wrong. It does. So let me take you to the Word of God and show you what the Word of God says about having a backup plan. There's actually somebody in the Bible there's two people I can refer you to that had backup plans.
Mm-hmm.
First person I want to refer you to, Samson's first wife. That's right, Samson's first wife. Go back and look at that. It says that after Samson left, and went and sulked and did his thing, that she ended up with Samson's best man.
Mm.
And Samson was like, wait a minute, what the hell? What's going on? You supposed to be my wife. And they're like, man, Samson, you were gone. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You left.
What I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to just sit here and wait for you? And it was really her father's doing. But still, like, she didn't have to go along with it, but she did. So she was with Samson's best man. Another time somebody in the Bible had a backup plan is when you look at Hosea and Gomer. Gomer, the wife of Hosea, had multiple backup plans. Like, her backup plan was the streets. She was a prostitute when Hosea found her, and she was good for a while. She was happy for a little bit, but the home life just was too much for her. She had to go back to the streets.
He had to go back and get her.
Had to go back and get her because her backup plan was this. I'm not down for all this submissiveness and no. So Backup plans. Every time that somebody had a backup plan, there was always an issue. And again, the backup plan for Samson's first wife was his best man. The backup plan for Gomer was them streets, her many Johns that she had. And so when you begin to look at having a backup plan, I want to encourage you. I absolutely want to encourage you. Before you get into a relationship, make sure that that person's the one for you. Make sure they have the qualities that you're looking for. This a reoccurring theme in some of the things that we've been talking about is sexual immorality, right? Or just cheating. Let's just call it straight up cheating, right? Wandering, dabbling, if you will. After you're married, you're dabbling around with other people, and no, if you want to remain pure, you've got to stick with what you got, work with what you got. But the way to even do that, going back to Proverbs, talks about enjoying the wife of your youth, right? The way to do that is to make sure you get the right one from the beginning, right? Make sure, like, these backup plans, I'm telling you, they kill a lot of marriages, they kill a lot of relationships. Then you get these relationships, you get in this, you leave the one you're in to go with the one you're with, and they don't even want to commit.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you like, man, when you go, look, I didn't want that when you got with me. You came after,
Mm-hmm.
So.
And if you gotta sneak and text somebody, or you feel like you're not getting enough attention in your marriage or your relationship, and you gotta text another person to feel fulfilled, or you gotta DM somebody to get that attention or feel fulfilled, then that may be an indication that that relationship may not be for you. Or maybe it's something in you that you need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes the relationship is God ordained, but that the other person just doesn't want to let go of the past, or has issues with their flesh.
Yeah.
And if you searching for past lovers on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, or you going to check on people's pages, maybe you're not even talking to them. You just, cyber stalking them.
Yeah.
Checking on their page, seeing how their life is going, seeing how this is going, what their family look like. Ooh, that's probably what our kids would have looked like if we would have had kids. That's a waste of time. Let those people go. You gotta let it go.
Yeah.
Give your spouse, your partner in life,
all of your attention, undivided,
a clean slate.
Absolutely.
How are you gonna go forward looking back?
Yeah. Andre 3000 said it best, saying, Minister Andre said it this way. He said, spaceships don't come equipped with rear view mirrors, they just dip. So listen, if you're trying to go forward, you're trying to go into the next phase, the next area, the next facet of your life, stop looking back. Listen, I'm the first to tell you, I'm one of the first to tell you, in many of my past relationships prior to my wife, there were two problems that I had in those relationships. Number one, I was always comparing those or measuring those to the one great love that I had in my lifetime, and she was the measuring stick. And if they didn't measure up to that, then it was always, the other issue was, once I knew that they couldn't measure up to that or wouldn't measure up to that, I would holler at her, and we had a whole long distance. Our whole relationship with my relationship with that other young lady was long distance. So I would holler at her and say, hey, how you doing? Still single? And she'd be like, yeah, what about you? Yeah, and so they never stood a chance. But when I met Kristin, I had already resolved in my mind, I'm letting that go. That relationship no longer is going to be a factor for me. I'm not going to use it as a measuring stick for all of my... I gave Kristin a clean slate, because I'm telling you, in every relationship I was in, while I was still with them most of the time, I've been checked on old girl just to see how she was doing. I be went to her Facebook page or, you know, found some of her family and looked to see, oh, what's she up to? Okay, that's what she doing these days.
Yeah.
But
and you'll find in life that God will allow you, if there are open doors or some of those relationships haven't been resolved, then God will allow you to talk to them once again, and you'll see, and it'll confirm like, hey, this ain't the place I need to be.
Yeah.
Before I met James and we actually started dating, all before that, it's like God, people from college, and things of that nature that I was like, man, I think we really had something. We reconnected and we really didn't have nothing.
No.
We really didn't have nothing, and it was okay. We went our separate ways. It was cool what we had back then, but right now, I mean, you got 3 kids. I don't have any. It's just not going to work.
Right.
It's not going to work. That's not what I desire. And I held on to those desires that I had in my heart. My list wasn't yay long, but it was specific. It was specific where certain signs and details, like in the last video, we talked about how he was able to tell me no. He was able to tell me no when he knew that I was going to trigger him to act out of his flesh, and that was something important to me, because if he didn't act out of his flesh, that means that he was disciplined and he was submitted to the Spirit of God.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't necessarily perfect, because neither one of us are perfect, but we understood how the Holy Spirit worked and submitting to the Holy Spirit and to God's word.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. So, man, you have to be patient.
Definitely.
You have to be patient.
The more patient you are, the less need there is for a backup plan. And even in being patient, don't settle. Like, again, I tell you, I'll say it. My wife was my backup plan because I was about to settle. I really was. I had told the Lord, look, I'm tired. I just want to be married. I want to have my kids. I want to, all of that. And I'm not attracted to her, but she's nice. Yeah. She really is. She's a nice girl. She really, and I said she loves your boy, and she remembers my birthday. She hand makes and puts something together special for me every year for my birthday. Lord, I'm gonna do this. Mm-hmm. My backup plan came along, and I've shared the story before. I'll say it again. I was gonna put her off on one of my best friends, and all 3 of us went to the movies, and I was just like, no, that ain't gonna happen, But that's the problem again when you have a backup plan. When you have that backup plan, it's like, your backup plan, in some cases, let me say it this way, because I see this. In some cases, your backup plan can be your saving grace, like my wife was for me. If you're about to settle and the backup plan arrives, sometimes that's your saving grace. Sometimes, and that was for single people. But when you're married and you're with that person and a backup plan shows up, that's just a missed opportunity all the way around, because that's just bye. Mm-hmm. That's just gone. You're married. There's nothing else you can do.
And you don't want to get in a situation where you settle. You get into a situation that opens doors for you to be looking. You're looking, you're desiring something else, because this ain't really what you want.
Right.
They may have the finances, but it's no real true connection. It's no connection there. And before we went further in life, we were friends first, and we're still friends. We're best friends. So when you with your friend, your best friend, you're not going to want to do them wrong.
Yeah.
You're not going to leave them hanging, because that's your boy. That's your girl.
Right.
Like, we friends.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And that's what matters the most. We can't just be lovers.
Right. We got to be friends. And that's one of those things I think that has helped us, is that we are friends, mm-hmm. And it helps me not to, like I said, not that I want to do anything, but it helps me even more fight against any lustful thoughts or desires or temptations that may come, because hey, well, if I hurt her, like I said in the first episode, I believe it was, yeah, when we're talking about intimacy, you know, it's like she's my mirror. I'm looking at the other half of me. So if I'm hurting her, I'm hurting me. You know, to see her hurt hurts me. So I don't want no backup plans, no side chicks, no
in between.
none of that. I don't want none of it, because if I do that and she finds out, and that's the thing, I'm always like, oh yeah, she gonna find out. Like, she gonna find out. How she not gonna find out? I mean, because right now we spend most of our time together. So if I start doing things differently, how am I hide that? When we spend all our time, she gonna find out.
It take too much work.
She really do.
I
think that's my saving grace too, is I'm too lazy to cheat.
That's like another job, huh?
Yeah.
That's like another job, man. That has to be stressful, mentally taxing.
Yeah.
But you know, some people like playing with fire, so. But just consider. Don't waste people's time. You know, and also consider your friend or the person that you're with hurting them. You know, what you do with your life, that's on you. But when you bring somebody else into that, that's selfish.
Yeah.
Don't bring nobody else into your mess. You knew you was jacked up from the beginning.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Don't do them like that.
Right. And fellas, that's part of the issue that we have to address for ourselves. Is there are a lot of women who have been hurt, right, by us men, and so now they mad, they angry, and we wonder why every woman we meet is so angry, so mad, so whatever.
Wasting our time.
It's us. It's what we've done, right? And not every man is the same. Not every man is like the last man you were with. Not every man is going to dog you like the one before. But at the same time, you also have to, within yourself, say, am I making these bad choices? Like, if the problem can't always be them, somewhere you got to look inside yourself and say, what am I doing wrong here?
There's a pattern.
Yeah.
Check the pattern.
Absolutely.
Check the red flags.
Yeah.
That's a video you can go check out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And see what's what. So we don't have to end up with these backup plans. We can't be doing this. Not today.
Backup plans. I mean, what are some of the other things? I guess if I had to summarize it, I would say, in your thoughts and opinions, what are some of the other dangers of having a backup plan, and some of the things that lead us into having a backup plan? Because if we address them, maybe we can, if we're honest enough with ourselves and we address them, maybe we can prevent ourselves from having them.
The dangers of having a backup plan is, of course, a house divided. A house divided cannot stand.
Yeah, how can two walk together lest they agree?
Exactly. So you can't walk together if you don't agree, and a house divided cannot stand.
Yeah.
And if there's division in this house,
this house,
you know,
not per se this house, but individually this house.
How can you stand?
That's good.
How can you stand? You won't be able to stand. You won't be able to stand for anything. You're losing in your integrity because you're not keeping that integrity in your relationship. You're losing in your character because your character now is flawed because you're entertaining other people, looking at other people.
Yeah. And
that causes division within yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, a double-minded man
is unstable in all of his ways.
Unstable.
That's good.
So you got your mind in 2 places, 3 places, 4 places. Who knows?
Right.
You're unstable in all your ways. And it can affect, you may not feel like it's affecting the rest of your life, but it can. Absolutely. It can take your mind off your kids. It can take your mind off of your spouse. And you may feel like you're a great multitasker. You may feel like you're the best of the best and you can really handle this. But you're really hurting yourself.
Absolutely.
You're really hurting yourself, especially if you're um, physically engaged with with these backup plans. Whomever that backup plan has been with, you're taking on the people that they've been with as well.
Right.
And you're bringing that into your household. And then if you're physical with your spouse, you're bringing that into your spouse's life. And now you're dealing with all these spirits.
Yeah, and not just spirits. I mean, there's so many communicable diseases going on these days.
Yeah.
I mean, like, oh my gosh.
It's so much.
The
It's so much
reports
out there.
Oh my gosh.
You may come back with something you can't get rid of. At least you can pray some spirits away, but herpes and all that stuff, HPV, that's not. You can't fully just wash that away.
Right, absolutely.
It stays. And then what if that manifests in your household or your spouse finds out? Now you got some explaining to do.
Lucy, you got some explaining to do.
You got some explaining to do, and that's the detrimental thing to having a backup plan.
Absolutely.
What's the second question you asked me?
Well, the other question is how do we avoid these pitfalls of having a backup plan? Because once we understand the dangers, what are some of how do we avoid this? How do we get out of and away from having backup plans?
Sometimes we don't go looking for backup plans. Sometimes backup plans come looking for us.
Okay.
Sometimes somebody may hit you up, in your inbox or whatnot, or maybe you've had the same number for 10 or 12 years, and that person thinks about you and hits you up, hey, or what you got going, and then you engage in a conversation with a person that maybe it goes too far, or maybe just entertaining them, and you don't need to entertain them.
Right. And let me just say this, for those of you who have had the same number, that's why sometimes, I understand, we're it takes a lot of time. We're busy people, whatever, but that's why sometimes it is good to just purge your phone of old contacts, old stuff. Our phones now hold unlimited contacts. I remember it used to be you could put maybe 100 or 150 in some of you, or however many in your old phones, or flip phones. But now it holds unlimited contacts, and then it's backed up onto your iTunes or your Apple, whatever, or into your Google, and now you got contacts from 10, 15, whatever. Delete.
And sometimes you gotta block, and block.
Yes. And see, here's the thing, and especially for you women, when you deal with men who try to just check up on you after a while, after that relationship is over, go ahead, delete that number. Shut that door completely, because men, we are good at checking back up on you, and when we check back up on you, if you hit us with that, who this? We kind of feel played, but if you be like, oh, I know him, I know who this is, and that you, hey, how you doing? Then we know we got you. Yeah,
even if you don't like him, ignore him. We need to get good. The ignored ministry is powerful. It's powerful. It's power in the ignored ministry.
And even for some of the men out there, you get these ladies who are hitting you up after the relationship is over. A relationship been over for a year, 2 years, a few months. Delete. Or block.
You don't need that added drama.
And when they hit you up, either don't reply, or who this? And if once they say who it is,
goodbye.
That's
how you keep yourself from getting up in a backup plan situation, or just getting in a situation that you don't need to be in. Period. Because you don't know what that other person is thinking about on the other end.
Right.
What if that person has been texting you and your intentions aren't bad, your intentions are pure, but you haven't set any good boundaries with this person? They could easily send you something inappropriate, because everybody don't want you to be with the person that you with.
Yeah, it happened. I mean, it didn't go to that full extent when we were, but when we first got together, somebody hit me up, right? And it was somebody from my past, and it didn't go to an inappropriate place, but it was still like, You know, when my wife found out, I was like, why are you even?
Right.
Why are you even?
What's the point?
What's the point? Like, you trying to get something out of this? Y'all trying to?
What? What she want?
So you know, again, especially once you're married, you know, all them backups in your phone, the little black book fellas or whatever, delete, 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 block, block, block.
And your spouse, whoever you're dating, needs to know about your history of people you've dated, the truth behind it. We were transparent about it.
Yeah.
And he told me, okay, I dated this person, and we were together for this long, and we did this, and this. They need to know. They don't need to be blindsided where this chick is walking up and she's like, hey, how are you?
Oh my God.
And being friendly with you, and she knows that she's done whatever with your husband, and she still probably has intentions on having his attention in whatever fashion. You need to know. So you can be cordial, be nice, but at the same time be like, okay, I'm watching her.
Right.
At Absolutely. The same time, that's one way that you end up not being in a backup situation.
Yeah, and again, backups that includes side chicks, that includes texting, that includes side Pieces. Dudes, side like all of that. When we talk about backups, we're not just talking about you got somebody who you gonna probably be with after this relationship, or if this relationship don't work out. We're also including within that, I'm with this person, but I also got so and so on the side, or so and so's on the side. Listen, that goes back to the flesh. If you can't control your flesh enough to where one person ain't enough to satisfy you, y'all need to talk. You and that person need to communicate, and you need to let them know, listen, I desire more. I'm not trying to turn you into no wolf, but that's how they clean that stuff up. But I'm trying to I'm trying to be faithful, and I need more.
Are you able to give me that? If you are not,
that's for married people. Go ahead.
If you are not, or if you are not willing to help or work on what we have right now, then what's the point?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Any more thoughts, babe?
Nope.
Okay. Well, friends, listen, we want to encourage you. Again, if this has been a blessing to you, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. All right? Like, subscribe, and share. At the end of this video, there's a little button that you can click, right? And you can subscribe there, or you can go right below, right here, and hit the subscribe button. Also, we're going to tag some other videos, right? Like the red flags, right? If you want to know more about red flags, that's going to be at the end of the video. You click on that video, you'll be able to see more of what we're talking about there. Friends, we absolutely love you. We thank God for you. Do. I want to encourage you also, the only way that you can stay on top of these videos, know when the new videos are up on YouTube, is you have to subscribe. Also, follow us on Facebook. Once you follow us on Facebook, it pops up in your feed, so you'll see it. So on Facebook, you are
Kristin Chavis.
All right. On Instagram, you are
Kristin Chavis Music.
All right. And on Facebook, I am James W. Chavis. And on Instagram, I am Pastor James W. Chavis. So that's how you stay on top of all of this. That's how you know what's new, when it's out, all that great stuff. All right. We love you. We'll see you right back here next week at the same time on the same place. This is I Am Encouraged TV. Real talk for real people. You be blessed, friends.
Be blessed.